What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back at it again with another video. So I'm going to check out the real reason why WWE released wrestlers and other major cuts. WWE also facing some backlash and other wrestling related news. There have been quite a few amount of people that have been released from WWE starting from Friday night while the show was going on Friday Night SmackDown leading into the weekend. It's kind of crazy to see that they're doing, all these releases from these wrestlers that I think a lot of people were hoping maybe got some good TV time and actually got some type of push. But a lot of these individuals we may have seen for a little bit and then they're gone, or they were repackaged and then they're gone. So I don't know what's going on here. Maybe we can figure out what's happening, but we're going to check this out, see how things, why these things are happening. And it's really unfortunate, I hate to see people get repackaged only to get used once or twice, and then they've been sitting in catering purgatory for a minute, and then they end up getting released. So we're going to see what's going on here. Appreciate all love, support. Let's get right into it, man.
What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the real reason for WWE's releases revealed. WWE gave up on a release star. The Axe creative plans WWE had for another release star. WWE making huge cuts. Are they facing major backlash? Did LA Knight and Drew McIntyre have a legit fight on SmackDown? And much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on WrestleMania XL. Now let's see the intro and get straight into our first story.
Let's see what's going on here.
That first story looks at the real reason for the WWE releases. Our top story today takes a look at the fallout from this weekend's WWE releases, as it's been reported the exact reason as to why WWE have made so many significant cuts. A Fightful Select have now reported that WWE is making room for a new batch of stars to debut on the main roster programming in 2025. WWE has had a history of releasing talent before talent shakeups. While main roster cuts are a part of WWE's business model, the timing is unusual to say the very least. From the names involved, hardly any of the names were used on television, so it wasn't like they were taking TV time away from other talent. SmackDown has now expanded to 3 hours, and WWE releasing a plethora of names when they know they need talent to fill their show is just a baffling call.
That's
Using
a fair
names
point
from
too.
NXT is a solid idea. However, NXT is a brand that also needs big names attached to it. NXT is on a major network, and they are consistently delivering shows outside of the normal realm. Taking a handful of names from the NXT roster and putting nothing in return is highly detrimental to the NXT product, and it wouldn't come as a surprise if CW Network executives took issue with this call. Next up, WWE gave up on...
And that's a fair point, like you got a 3-hour show. You might as well have used some of these people that you released on your 3-hour show. I think Raw is fine for the most part. It's, they don't really go to the 3-hour mark, but you could have used some of these people that you released that you weren't doing nothing with, and maybe possibly giving them a better chance of getting something going for themselves, and they just let them go.
A release star. Now, in relation to one of the key names that was released yesterday, that being Giovanni Vinci, Fightful Select are reporting that WWE were high on him initially, but when he re-debuted with his new character, the writing was on the wall. There were some in the company that were high on Giovanni Vinci upon creating the vignettes for him last year. That didn't end up conveying to TV, and most that we've spoken to believe he was pushed down the card with them knowing he wouldn't be brought back.
Damn.
Now, there's also a rumor that Vinci had backstage issues with Ludwig Kaiser, and this would likely explain why he was unceremoniously kicked out of the Imperium faction. But there were rumors last year that Giovanni Vinci's defeats are due to punishment from WWE because he tried to flirt with Tiffany Stratton, and Kaiser showed his discontent to WWE management. Again, this is nothing official, just a rumor that may seem plausible now. Vinci is a name that would have thrived in NXT, and it's alarming that WWE would rather release him than give him another shot on a brand that is crying out for talent at the top of the card. Next up,
I mean, we don't know if that's true. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. If it is, obviously they're going to try to separate them and kind of keep him doing his own thing. But even then, I mean, they greenlit the repackaging. I mean, they repackaged him only to have him lose to fucking Apollo Crews as soon as he came back. I was like, oh, he's cooked. Like, I don't even know why they had him lose then. I don't know, man. We, like I said, we don't know the true story of why WWE, had booked him the way they did. But there had to been something going on backstage that we don't really know. And maybe he will be able to, talk about it, since he's not with WWE going forward, to figure out what the hell is going on and why they built him up with these vignettes. My boy got beaten to riches. My boy Ludwig beat him up, packed him up. He disappeared, came back richer, only to lose to Apollo. I don't know what was going on there, man.
WWE creative plans for a release star. Now, Blair Davenport was a release that came as a major surprise, as WWE never gave her a solid opportunity on the main roster.
Nope.
And it's led to the questions why on earth they called her up in the first place.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, according to Sean Rossap from Fightful Select, Blair was going to join forces with Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Sources within WWE Creative spoke with Fightful Select and indicated that there were no substantial creative plans for Blair Davenport until mid-January. She was pitched to join Chelsea Green and Piper Niven's group, and there was a movement on that front, but it didn't happen.
Damn.
The news of wrestlers being released is never positive, and we're extending our well wishes to all the names
sure.
released by WWE.
For sure.
Next up, WWE making huge cuts. Now, unfortunately, it's not just wrestlers that are being released from WWE. Yesterday, a former WWE employee who worked for WWE as a social media video editor took to Reddit and confirmed that they were released from the company. He wrote on Reddit, "Up until Wednesday, I was a video editor for their social medias. Out of nowhere, they called me about some budget cuts and terminated my contract early. I'm heartbroken. I've been a huge fan and this was my dream job.
Damn.
My desk was decked out and I was proud of my job. This is just me ranting and looking for support from a community I've been part of, I guess. Hopefully better things are coming."
Yeah, I hate to
WWE
hear that, bro.
are evidently making serious cost-cutting measures. But with WWE revenue being as high as it is, this really doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing. They're making more money than they've ever made in their entire history of the company being a thing. So I don't know. I don't know if they have multiple people doing like their social media videos and stuff like that. But that just sucks. Being laid off from a job, especially a job that you wanted to work for. That's kind of frustrating. So I'm hoping he's able to take his talent to, some other company and, find some work there, man. I hate to hear that.
This is definitely an issue that needs to be directed towards Triple H at the next WWE press conference. Next up, could WWE face major backlash? WWE often likes to avoid releasing talent whilst they're on the injured list. However, this weekend, WWE made an exception and decided to release Carl Anderson. But Fightful Select noted that releasing injured talent is very out of the ordinary for WWE, and sources are digging for more details on why WWE made this move. Thankfully, although he's been cut from the company, Anderson is reportedly in good spirits. WWE may have overhauled the way they release talent, and if it's a new policy that injured wrestlers are up for the chop, then WWE are going to receive a significant backlash and media scrutiny, and rightly so.
Yeah.
This seemed like a playbook out of Eric Bischoff back in WCW, where he even FedExed the British Bulldog that he was fired after sustaining an injury in the ring. Next up, John Cena accused of politicking.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a tough one too. While they're injured, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what is happening here, but boys is getting axed out of the company, even while they're on the injured list. Like, I don't know what's going on. This is really unfortunate. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, he said in the video, and like I've said, man, they could have used some of these people on a 3-hour show that needs it. Put these guys on television. Put these guys and girls on television. Give them a chance. Not just one time you squash them out to a jobber. Give them an actual chance. Let them build something.
Drew McIntyre dropped another yet incredible social media promo this weekend, and in the promo, McIntyre decided to target John Cena. McIntyre took issue with the fact that Cena just declared himself for the Elimination Chamber, and even accused Cena of playing politics. All I ever needed was a fair chance, not to go out there, try to handle my business with one person, and then get jumped from behind by someone else. I've listened to all the politicking and backstage backstabbing on Raw. It's a minefield trying to tell the truth on your own. I'm not going to try to politic my way into the Elimination Chamber or use my stroke like John Cena. I'm going to do it the right way, the Drew way, work hard and beat up 2 of the top contenders in WWE. Whilst this is clearly McIntyre talking in character, it's been a talking point from fans that Cena just declared for the match and didn't have to earn his spot. This would be a compelling story and plot thread to pick up when Cena returns to television, and McIntyre could be the perfect person to target Cena for this specific reason.
And we know why. Because this is his farewell tour. He was gonna be there. Yeah, you could have had him in a match, but I believe he's supposed to be filming a movie or something like that, so he can't do it. So he's like, "Hey, I'm in the match," and he's one of the few people in WWE that can do that. Is it fair? I'm agreeing with you. No, from a story standpoint, no. But is it John Cena? Yes. He's one of those few people that don't have to be in a match or have to earn his way into a match, because I guess you can say his career and resume has already solidified him in whatever match. I mean, granted, if you say that, then you can go down a rabbit hole saying, well, he didn't need to be in the Royal Rumble. He could have just said, hey, I'm facing one of you guys at WrestleMania in the main event because I'm John Cena. So you can say that point. And like I said, I understand why some people would be like, damn, it would be nice to see John wrestle on a show to earn his way into the match. Cool. I get that. But they're working with his schedule. He's still doing films and stuff. So that's their easiest way to get him in there. It's not fair, but I mean, he's John Cena. So that's my only response to that, is he's one of the top guys in the company's history. They're going to easily just give him that opportunity. Hey, you're in there. We'll see you after you're done filming. So I don't know. It definitely deserves the right to have some type of criticism, in that regard.
Maybe Cena could say being runner-up in the Royal Rumble is good enough, right? Next up, did LA Knight and Drew McIntyre have a legit fight on SmackDown? Now, the feud between LA Knight and Drew McIntyre is heating up, and following a rather physical commotion on SmackDown this week between the two, there was speculation that the heat is genuine and legitimate. However, that isn't the case, and although LA Knight's promo and of course the brawl between the two did seem real, according to Fightful Select, there's no real tension between the two talents.
They're just
McIntyre
working
is
really
reportedly
well
set for a WrestleMania showdown with Damian Priest. However, due to the positive reception to the McIntyre and LA drama on SmackDown, there's been a push from fans to see WWE to pivot. WWE embracing the real-life elements of McIntyre versus LA Knight could be a great way to go, and there are endless ways WWE could take the feud as we head into WrestleMania 40.
Hey, I would love to see it. If that's going to be a pivot, I think a lot of people are not trying to see the Drew and Damian Priest stuff, which I understand. I totally get it. But if you can pivot into something that was real, once again, and involving something in the Royal Rumble, and turn it into a story, I'm all for it. So
41. Next up, what's happening with the WWE Hall of Fame? Now, we already know that Triple H is headlining the 2025 Hall of Fame class, but it's unknown how WWE will format the event this year. It was reported last year that WWE could be shaking up the format, and according to PW Insider, WWE are still figuring it out. Nothing yet, we're told that they're figuring it out, with Paul Levesque going in. I could see them doing it as its own standalone event. Dead & Company are playing the Sphere that Thursday, so that rumor is not rooted in reality. Now, a lot of fans are hoping that WWE moves the show away from taking place following SmackDown, and WWE allows the event to breathe on its own by having its own unique night.
Yeah.
Next up, where is Bo Dallas? Bo Dallas, aka Uncle Howdy, has been away from television for some time now, and it was rumored that he was injured. But in a new update this weekend, PW Insider have stated that Dallas was never planned to be at the Royal Rumble, and he's off the road. I was told he was never scheduled to be there and isn't currently on the road for the company. The WWE are still proceeding to move forward with the Wyatt 6 storyline, and it looks like Alexa Bliss will be formally introduced to the group in the coming weeks and months.
I mean, we saw the little glitch when she was out there, so they are cooking up something with them. Hopefully we get some type of match. The rumors is Judgment Day versus the Wyatt 6 family faction. So we'll see how that plays out, but they're definitely targeting her. We saw the glitch, and they're going to start building upon that each and every week, I'm guessing.
Next up, a WrestleMania 41 match revealed. Now, before Kevin Owens turned on Sami Zayn, fans were under the impression that Owens vs Randy Orton would be one of the featured matches for WrestleMania 41.
I hope so.
However, it now looks like WWE will be delivering Owens vs Zayn on the grand stage, according to the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer Radio. Now, there's no news in relation to what Orton will do at WrestleMania if this is the case, as Orton will need to seek revenge on Owens for taking him out of action. With the Elimination Chamber taking place in Canada next month, it's possible that WWE will deliver the Owens versus a matchup there and
Yeah.
run Owens versus Orton at WrestleMania 41.
I hope that's the route
However,
they go.
time will tell. And finally, Seth Rollins buries AEW. Our final story today takes a look at how Seth Rollins has taken a cheap shot at AEW. Naturally, it has social media talking. Now, the shocking NBA trade involving Luka Doncic has now transitioned over to the wrestling world, as Rollins was asked by SiriusXM if AEW and WWE were ever to make a similar trade and how it would look, and Rollins gave a rather negative stance on the question. You'll make some headlines with this one. I don't think there's anybody in AEW that's on our level. You're probably looking at it. If you're looking at LeBron, that's like a John Cena level guy. I'd be looking at a John Cena for an MJF maybe. That'd be the deal. Luka would be MJF. That's the level. That's how crazy that is. That's a surprise that Tony Khan didn't take issue with Rollins' comments, and I'll be interested to see if there's any backlash directed.
Wait a minute.
Luka would be MJF. That's
Damn.
the level. That's how crazy that is. That's a surprise that Tony Khan didn't take issue with Rollins'
That's
comments. I'll be
crazy.
interested to see if there's any backlash directed towards him. But there you have it, folks. The wild.
That's a crazy one. I ain't gonna lie to you. MJF is still, he's still, in my opinion, I know a lot of people are not the biggest fans of now recently of, just, what he's been doing as a heel. Like, they've kind of gotten tired of his stick, if you will say, or whatnot. But I do think he's still a great talent. I do think maybe at some point I can see him in WWE. He's still one of their best talents. The problem here with AEW, and this, I know he's going to cause some AEW fans to really be upset, but the problem here is the presentation. I think if someone else was booking the shows, I think the overall presentation of a lot of these guys and girls there would be in a much better place. MJF is fantastic at what he does. I think Ospreay is really great at what he does too. Kenny Omega is really great at what he does. Like, they have some really great pieces over there. I just think it get lost in the shuffle, and they kind of get in their own ways when it comes to the matches, because the matches be chaotic all over the place. It's a different style of wrestling. Some of the stuff that they do doesn't really make sense in the grand scheme of move sets and the type of moves that they're doing, and a lot of it can be very dangerous. But I feel like if you put these guys in the WWE system, I think they would flourish. I would. Or if you just had them have better booking that made a lot more sense, booking that wasn't just for 5-star Dave Meltzer classics, but more so great wrestling, but a great story involved too, and good build. I think that would be different sentiments in that regard, because I do think there's a lot of talented individuals over there. I just think they are hidden behind the horrible booking in a lot of these situations. So I don't know, maybe one day Tony Khan steps down as the lead booker, have somebody else with experience do it, and you possibly would get a different product. I'm willing to bet you would. But ultimately, this is what the situation is. So there's very interesting comments from Seth Rollins there. But comment down below, let me know, how do y'all feel about just what's been going on with all the recent releases, and where do you think some of these individuals are going to go? Do you think some of these individuals go to AEW, maybe New Japan, or maybe even another independent wrestling company? Y'all let me know down below. But I appreciate all the love and support y'all showing on the channel. Road to 150K. Appreciate y'all kicking it with me. See you on the next one. Peace.